So one of my favorite ways to use the Travelers Company Travelers Notebook passport size is using it as a wallet. Now, I've used the passport size as a wallet several times throughout the years, and each time I've learned what worked for me and what didn't. And today I wanted to kind of share with you the different setups that I did as I used a Traveler's Notebook passport size as a wallet. So let's get started. Hi, friends. It's Mari from Mari Harai Archives. And like I said, we are going to talk about how I've used the Traveler's Notebook passport size as a wallet. Now, there's different setups that I've used, and each time I've gotten better and better at understanding what worked and what didn't work. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. Maybe you'll learn something from it. Um, but yeah, so let's get started. So I do have two Traveler's Company Traveler's Notebook in hand. Now, I used to own quite a few, but I ended up selling a bunch. And this is the only two that has stayed in my collection. This is an olive color passport size, and then this is a camel color Traveler's Notebook, and it's the Starbucks edition. Okay, and then I do have a special mention, which is a Louis Vuitton PM Agenda, which I've converted from a spiral to a traveler's notebook style. And so I wanted to showcase this one as well. In case you had this, I feel like they're kind of about the same size, and it works as well. Okay. All right. So let's get started. So I guess to kind of go over what this traveler's notebook is. This is a Travelers Company. It's a Japan company that was founded back in I did a video about this, and I want to say it was 2003. I could be wrong, but they are the original creators of the Traveler's Notebook style. Now, there are plenty of other companies who have jumped on and created their own little Traveler's Notebook brand. And pretty much what it is just one piece of leather with an elastic that you can put different notebooks bound together inside this notebook. So that's basically what the system is. And it's gained a lot of popularity throughout the years, and I'm so happy to see that too. But I do love this size. Now, the Travelers Company does come in two sizes, which is the passport size, which I have here, and then a standard size, which is a lot bigger, which let me grab one to show you so you can kind of tell the difference. So this is a standard size. Now I have you guys kind of up close because I'm dealing with the passport size. But as you can see, these are the sizes. Like so. So those are the two sizes. And what's great about the popularity of Traveler's Notebook, let me scoot you guys in a little bit more, is that there's now a lot more sizes to choose from, which is great because the Travelers Company only has those two sizes. All right. Now, what I love about using the passport size as a wallet is because of obviously the size of it. And it's called Passport. And I would say it is about the size of a passport. But I feel like a real passport might be a little bit bigger than like an actual travel passport than this one. I don't have one near me, and I don't want to go through the safe to go grab a passport. But to kind of give you a size reference, let me pull out my ruler. The size of this it's about 4.5 inches by about 5.5 inches. So it's a really good like pocket size, compact size. So that's why it kind of works great as a wallet. Now, with the Traveler's Notebook system, the way it works is one, you get, and actually let me deconstruct this just so we can kind of get to the bare bones of it, and then we can kind of build it up. Because although I'm very familiar with this, I know some people are new to the Traveler's Notebook system, so it can get kind of confusing. Okay. All right. So this is how it looks. It's just one piece of leather. Now you'll see these pockets and this patch. Obviously this has been customized to my liking, but you will get just a plain piece of leather, and it will have this little string on it, which is a bookmark, as well as this little elastic. Now, this is what makes it a traveler's notebook, because the main purpose of it is that you get different booklets, you put it together, you can customize it however you want, and then this elastic right here is what holds it together. Now, I know some people might be confused about, like, there's two. Well, the reason why there's two is obviously it's just the mechanism of it, the way it's threaded. Now, a lot of people might be able to use this to hold their notebooks, but I feel because it is elastic that it will, I can't even think of the word, but it is kind of short compared to the main one. So it might bend your notebook. So this really doesn't have a function other than because it's threaded that it has to be there. But usually this right here, the longer one, is the main one, and this is the one that you actually will put or thread your traveler's notebook in it. Now usually it's just a single notebook, so you would take like the middle of it and then you put it in just like so, and that elastic right there is what holds the notebook in place. And then you have your bookmark, and I feel like you guys are super close, so let me pull you guys out just a little bit. Okay, maybe that's a little bit better. And that's your bookmark, and usually that's good to go. People, like the simplicity of it. Now, if you want multiple notebooks in here, you can. Ooh, there's a piece of hair right there. And the way you do it is that you have these elastics like so. Now, they do actually have a rubber elastic that you can purchase, but I just prefer using these elastics that it comes with. And what you usually do, like say if you want to do two, right? All you have to do is find the center of each book, like so. So these are the centers. Then you kind of butt the ends together, and then you take your elastic and you just kind of put it together like so. And now they are bound together. And then what you can do is then put it like this, and you have two books in there now. Now, if you want three books, you actually can do three books. Now, you've already jump band these two together, but you also still have that middle band, right? So what you can do is get that third book right in the middle, and then just thread it through that jump band. And now you have three little notebooks in there, and it's fine, right? So it's a really good system. And now people use it for journaling, for wallets. And in this case, we're going to set this up as if I'm going to be using it as a wallet. So let me go ahead and take this out. Oop. Okay, so we're going to use this as our first example. Now, like I said, you can get them customized. Now, in the passport size, I know I have this right here because my intention was to use this as a wallet. I wouldn't recommend doing this because, and I've talked about this before in a other video. I'll link below the video that I'm talking about, it's basically just talking about like the struggles I have with the traveler's notebook. And anyway, so one of the issues I have with is I didn't know until obviously after the fact, but having these little card slots here is it's not very useful, because when you do put a card in here, it's not going to really fit. And as you can see, when you close it, it really bumps to that spine. And it's not a very good feeling. As you can see, it's already manipulating this front cover. And it's such a bummer. I mean, I guess technically you could probably do it on like on this part, because then you can kind of push it a little bit further. So if you do want to do a pocket, I would highly recommend not doing these single slots, maybe just either one little slip pocket like this, or maybe like a pocket like here where you can just kind of go like this would even work too. But I don't recommend doing this on either side. So just a little heads up, something that I've learned and regretted, because these things are not cheap. And so I was pretty bummed. So yeah. But anyways, all right, so let's get started. Now, what I have to have in a wallet, obviously, is a notebook, preferably a monthly calendar, which is what I usually use. I usually use a traveler's notebook or traveler's company monthly calendar, and it has like the months, and then you have a few blank pages to jot down notes, or maybe to-do list, grocery list. In my case, I had a separate monthly calendar and a grocery to-do list notebook, and I found it just recently that, like, you know what, maybe I should combine it, and I did, and it's in a different system that I can talk to you guys about in another video. But basically, you want to kind of figure out what your setup is. Do you need more of a monthly kind of thing and not that many pages for like to-do lists or to jot down notes? In my case, if I had to do this over again, I would probably not choose. I mean, it just depends on your needs. But if I was doing this all over again, I would probably pick a thicker notebook, passport size notebook like this. This has a lot more pages. And then I would probably just like take like 12 pages or 6 pages and create a monthly calendar in the front or back of it, just so I can have a little bit more pages for my notes and to-do lists. That is what I would essentially do. So let's just pretend I do that. And they also have like, what do you call it? Like monthly stickers that you can put on the page. So you don't have to like draw it out. It's just like a monthly calendar that you just plop it on there, and you can use that as a monthly calendar for appointments and stuff like that. So that is what I would actually do if I had to do it over again, or what I've learned so far. So usually I only have one notebook for my monthly. So let's just pretend that's there. Oh, and then obviously, since I'm going to use this as a wallet, I do need some kind of inserts. Now, they do have a clear insert, which I thought I had one, but usually it's like a cotton. So this is a cotton insert, which you can purchase from Traveler's Company. There's a lot of brands that carry their versions of it. I just happen to have a Traveler's Company version. They do have a plastic one, which I actually don't mind using. Actually, let me see if I can find it. That way I can, so you can tell exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, I thought I could find it, but it must be in storage. But anyway, so there's a clear plastic version that you can use, or you can get a cotton insert like so. It's pretty much the same setup, except for the plastic one does have like the card slots on it that you can put two. I prefer the cotton ones because, I don't know, I just don't like my stuff being like see-through. And so this is one thing that I have to have in my wallet. So as a notebook, a cotton insert of some sort to carry my cards, and then possibly a folder to carry or to put like different loose papers. Now, usually you could do that too on here because it does have several pockets that you can use. But if you're using this for your card, you might not have all the space. So maybe having like a folder can work. There's also craft folders, paper folders that you can use as well. I just so happen to have these. I used to have the paper one, but I don't have it anymore. And it actually looks like this, but in the passport size. Now I already customized this already, but it's like a craft folder, but it's the passport size. I what do you call it? I customized this already. I had pasted a pamphlet on here to kind of make it my own. So you have options for sure. So these are basically what I would need to make it useful for myself as a wallet. And then everything else is more of like convenience, right? As far as setup. So this is how it would look like for me. I have a notebook / monthly calendar on here, and then I have a cotton insert and then a folder. Now, what I would probably do is, now I could either hug this like so, and then put it in like that. That would be another, let's see, another way to have it like this. And then I could take this folder and I could just either maybe do the same thing. Like there's different ways to set this up. That way it's kind of like that. So now I have my cotton insert for my cards, a folder. Here's my monthly. You could do that. Or what you can do is, say for example, these two, you kind of want it to be like that. And so what you can do is you can take, oh, where did my little elastic go? Oh, here it is. You can take the elastic and then you can put these two together. So you can kind of butt these together. So it's like that, right? And then you can just thread this through. So now you have something like this. And then as far as your notebook, you can put it in the middle. And so now it's like right in the middle of it. So you could do it like that as far as setting it up, like so. So you have your cotton insert here, your notebook, and then your folder. That's one way. I mean, there's several ways that you can set it up. Obviously, you just kind of want to set it up to your liking. Another way is if you want to maybe have your notebook first. So I would kind of put these two together, like so. Like that. Thread it through. So now when I'm looking at it, right, now my notebook's first. And then my cards are in the back. And then you can put this in the center, like so. And it's like that. You can set it up like that, or, because now you have your notebook, your folder, and your cards in the back. Or you could even take your folder and put it on the back side, so it kind of now becomes like it hugs it, like so, right? So that's how it went through. So now you have something like that where you have your folder first, so you can put like, you know, whatever paperwork you have in there, your notebook calendar, your cards, and then you still have a folder section here. And you still have enough to put maybe like another folder. Now, so there's a lot of ways you can do it. It just depends on, I guess, your priorities. For me, I think this setup feels a little bit better. Like so. I would probably keep this folder in the middle, because the way when it comes to my cards, I use Apple Pay, so I don't necessarily need to have my cards up front because I use my phone. But it's not the first thing that I need if I open this. Usually if I'm opening this, what I need to access first would be my notebook, right? So this is how I would set it up as far as my wallet goes, just like so. Now, once you figure out like how you want the insides to set up, now you kind of have, okay, accessories. What's important? What do you need to have? For me is a pen, right? So there's several ways that you can do this. Now, if you have, say, like this and you get it customized, you can actually either create like a leather pen loop that you can sew on here. So you could put your pen on it just like so. You can also, if you want to customize it, if you can find a pocket and you can sew it on here, just like I did for this. That way you could put your pens. You can clip it like so. You could do the same thing for the passport size. Another way you can do it is pen loops. Now, the Travelers Company does have their own pen loops, and it's not my favorite because it doesn't really hold my pens well. What I do like using is the Travelers, or not the Travelers, the Superior Labor. They have a ton of different kind of pen loops that you can purchase from them. This one's a single. They actually have a double as well, but it's pretty magnetic. I like this because it literally will go through leather as well. And you just kind of do this, and then you have your little pen holder. You can go like this. If you have maybe, you know, there's it, and it's a pretty decent size, so it can hold pretty much a lot of pens. So I do like this. Another option, if you don't have something like this, is actually creating one. So the Travelers Company has these little clear folders, and what I like to do is I would take like a piece of leather, and I would, let me actually here. So this right here, this is a plastic folder the Travelers Company has, and it's like this, and it's used to, you can actually use this obviously in here. What I like to do sometimes is I like to put an elastic in here, and then I can just kind of go like this so it sits inside my traveler's notebook like so. And so what you can do is you can create a little pen holder for yourself by using this folder, and it's pretty simple. You don't have to use like a sewing machine. You could probably use glue, but I feel like sewing it would probably be the best. It'll be more secure. But what you can do is you can take like a piece of leather like I did here and kind of fold it inside here, and then you just sew it right here. And it doesn't have to be like this thick of a leather. It could be a really small one like this. Just depends on what you like. And it becomes a pencil or a pen holder, and you just kind of thread in a elastic. And then what I also like to do is I added kind of like a thick piece of paper inside here just to kind of give it some stability. You can use like a cardboard paper, or maybe even a pencil board as well. You can fit, well actually this won't fit because I sewn it in here, so it won't fit. So like a nice thick cardstock to put in there to make it a little bit more stable. That way you can actually just take this elastic part and literally thread it anywhere. And like I had mentioned, I just went ahead and did this just like that. And now I have kind of a built-in pen holder if you're going to use this as a wallet as you go in. So it just depends on your preference, whether you use something like this or maybe like a pen holder like so. There's either some ways, and sometimes you don't even have to have a pen holder. You can probably just kind of let it hang like so on the elastic. And it depends on the size of pens that you use. If you have a Travelers Company, they're small little pens and pencils. It's real small. They're perfect for this size. They're small, but you can, when you open it and you post it, it's about a full size pen. You can do that. But I think my favorite way is having this on there like so. It's not like too much in the way. Like if you have it right here, I feel that works perfectly. But yeah, I mean, this is how I would use it as a wallet. And there's like different accessories that you can use to make it a better experience for yourself to carry the things that you need as for a wallet, right? Here's one that I wanted to kind of mention. And let me see if there's anything in here that I feel like it's the same setup. Like I have a cotton insert, I have a folder. So yeah, this one right here, I like using this. This is actually a Louis Vuitton PM Agenda, and it was actually a ring system. I took out the rings and I just threaded in an elastic right through it to make it into a traveler's notebook. And I like using this as a traveler's notebook because it already has like a built-in like three card slots like so, and then it already has a built-in pen loop as well as a slot here. And so what I actually used for this is the same thing. Is I actually used the same setup, and I'm just going to show you just in case you have one of these lying around. But it's the same setup. I would do it the same way, just like so. I can possibly add this if I wanted something extra, or maybe if I wanted another folder, I can add a folder in here. But usually it's pretty much that is my setup. And I think I did have this. So let me just put this here. So it would be like this, and then I would have all my cards here. I can add more cards there if I want, and then all the cards I needed over here, just like so. And then I would have my pen, and this was like my perfect wallet setup, just like this. Everything I needed is right here. So I am definitely a fan of using the Travelers Company Travelers Notebook as a wallet. It's very convenient, and there's so many ways that you can set it up actually. So, you know, it's one of those things. If you like carrying a notebook and your cards and whatnot, this is a great way to do that. And like I said, I've done it so many different ways, but I think that's the beauty of this system, is like you really can customize it to your preference and how and use it, or set it up how you need it to set up. You know, whether it's like you need 2 notebooks, or they even have inserts like this where there's plastic that you can use if you want to use it for your cards. There's just so many different things and so many different accessories that you can use. Now, I also tend to carry a metal clip or a brass clip from Travelers Company, because sometimes if I am using it and I'm having a hard time, it just doesn't want to stay down, that is there for that. And then when you're not using it, you can just do it like this, and it looks nice for it to just be like that all together. So if I ever was to, my opinion, like if you want to start using your traveler's notebook as a wallet, you really can't go wrong. But these are the items that I would recommend you having: is a little brass clip, your traveler's notebook, a pen holder. You definitely need maybe a cotton insert, or even the plastic insert will work as well, to hold your cards. And then a notebook of your choice, however many that you think you need. I think that would be a great start. And then as you use your traveler's notebook as a wallet, you will, oops, sorry about that, you will actually figure out the setup, or what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So it's really like a trial and error, right? So I hope this helps you with, if you are trying to use your traveler's notebook as a wallet. This kind of gave you some ideas on how to set it up. There really is no right or wrong. It just depends on your preference and how you like things. And there's no rule or way, the perfect way, or, the right way to do it. It's however you want to use it, right? So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.